Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate your time. It's a Motivational Monday. Yay! So today it's Monday the 19th. Yes, Monday the 19th, which means Wednesday the 21st is the winter solstice, the shortest daylight hours of the year, at least in our hemisphere here in the United States. So I wanted to do a layout about candles and darkness. Now here's my problem. Several weeks ago, let's see, 3 weeks ago, I did this one where I painted the background black and did the angel, and in order for the light to shine brightly, the darkness must be present. So I want something different for today's layout, because I do want to use the idea of light and dark, but I want candles and I want some brighter colors and things like that. So to that end, I have chosen several quotes, and I think I've narrowed it down to one or two at this point, but I'm not really sure. So let's go back and take a look at this one, because I don't want to repeat anything too close to this. So these are the quotes. We must bring our own light to the darkness, which maybe is a little close to this. It's better to light a candle than curse the dark. That one I really like, because it is completely different from this kind of thing, and it would go with the candle motif. Let your light shine in the darkness, which I think is a little too close to this. For the light to shine, the darkness must be present. So I'm gonna mark that one out to start with. I just kind of wrote all these down and then started looking at this one and went, oh, I did something similar to that. There are two ways of spreading light: be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. And that one we could just shorten down to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. Like, we don't have to necessarily have the two ways of spreading light, you know. And then there is a quote by St. Francis of Assisi, but it's a little long, so I'm not sure. All the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. So that one seems a little long. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out this one too. We must bring our own light to the darkness. It's better to light a candle than curse the dark. I'm actually leaning towards be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. I like the St. Francis one, but I think it's a little long to put on a page. So we'll narrow it down to those two. Be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. It's better to light a candle than curse the dark. And that way, it's something different from our angel. So here's what I did. I went through a couple of really inexpensive coloring books. These came from Dollar Tree. So I paid $1 for each of these. I bought them last year, I think. So I didn't even buy them this year. It says they're from Kappa Book Publishers, Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. But the thing is the paper is very thin, and it's printed with pictures on both sides. So if you use pencils, you could probably color both sides, but if you use markers, you can even kind of see a little bit of the thing showing through on the other side. If you use markers, you're going to destroy one side or the other, so you're only going to be able to use one side. So here's my thought. I took them over to my copier. I know, copyright, but I'm not selling this. I'm just using it for my own personal edification, enjoyment, right? So both of these are from the same publisher and have slightly different images. I went over to my copier, and as you know, my copier is not very good, but that's okay, because I'm gonna trace around and color over it. And I'm gonna combine these two images. So I really love the idea of this snow globe, and having a globe with something. So I thought that I would color the base of this and then cut this out and use this as a pattern to fit this onto the base. Now, I know this is not, it doesn't have snow and you're not going to be able to see the background through it and stuff. I don't really care. I just like the idea of the base and then this kind of shape on top. So I'm gonna color these separately and then cut them out and marry them together to make my own image. And that is the image I'm going to use on the page today as my focal image. I'm going to take this out. But we still have to have something in the background. Ooh, come on. So I'm not sure. I was thinking of something blue since the angel one from a couple weeks ago is painted black and has this white. I was thinking maybe something blue, and I don't know if I have like a picture of an interior somewhere. Like I really like this table, so maybe I'll construct like a little table out of some paper down here that looks like a table, and then a blue background up here, so that it looks like it's actually sitting on a table, because I like this idea. I suppose, I guess in reality we could keep this whole piece. No, I really don't want that busy background. That's not really what I want. I think more of a plain background, and I want it to cover the whole page. This doesn't really cover the page. So, okay, so that's my thought. So I think I'm gonna go rummage around, find something I could use, maybe some brownish paper that looks like a wood grain or something I can draw a little wood grain on, something that I could use for a table. And then maybe even actually put a piece of wallpaper on the back. I have some wallpaper samples. That might be fun to put a piece of wallpaper and then a little table. And then we'll put our thing here and then put our quote on. Okay, so that's the plan. So I will be back when I have a background and when I have colored these images. So I'm just going to grab some markers. I'm probably just going to use some water-based markers. I have some Crayola ones that are actually pretty good for coloring. I like them a lot. They have kind of a really fine little tip on one end and then kind of a bigger brush tip on the other. I can show you those in just a minute. I'll show you those after I color. So I'll be back in just a minute and we'll be ready to kind of put this together. So see you in a few. Okay, I'm back. I have colored the two images. So I colored the base on the snow globe, and then I colored this. This is a good deal larger, so it'll be fine when we cut down the edges. I really didn't pay much attention to the edges. I kind of just went around it with a marker at the end. So this is going to need to get cut down a little bit in order for it to fit. So we'll do that in just a minute. I'll show you my background. I ended up with a couple of pieces of wallpaper. These are from a wallpaper book that I've had for many years, and I haven't cleaned out my wallpaper yet. That's coming. I think this week I'm probably just gonna have to dive in and clean it all out at once. Just spend like 2 days just intensively, because I'm not really getting anywhere doing a drawer at a time. Thought I was going to, but I didn't. So this, as you can see, the wallpaper information is on the back. It's a screen printed, but it's actually coated, but it's actually paper as opposed to vinyl. Some of them are vinyl papers. This is actual paper. So this is what I used for the table, and then I used a similar one that's from the same book. It's almost, I think, the same pattern, really, just in a different colorway. This one has some shininess to it for the background. So this is like my wallpaper in the back, and then I gave it a little bit of an angle so it looked like the table was kind of, at an angle here. So the next step will be to cut the globe part off of here and make it fit this, and then glue them down, and then we'll add our quote. I ended up not using the Crayola markers. I had trouble finding browns. You know, they were like, all of the browns were dark. I was hoping for some lighter browns and dark ones, but the lighter ones ended up being kind of gold. So I did put some touches of gold on the feet, and then I just used a gold gel pen to make it a little more gold. And I added a little bit of gold gel pen on the outline here too. Okay, so I think I want to be sure that I get the top of that candle there. So I think I just want to, I'm just going to trace around this on the right side here with a pen. I'm not doing a very good job of getting it straight, I don't think, but I don't want to make it too small. If it's a little large, we can always trim a little off or trim just inside that line. But normally I would turn it over on the back, but I want to make sure that I have the image where I want it. Oh, I hope I can see that. Okay, I can see that. I don't know if you guys can see. There's a line you can see where I traced. So let's give it a quick trim. It's kind of flat across the bottom. And we'll round it up the edges here. I suppose I could have just held that on top and trimmed it without tracing it. But I also know that I have a tendency to move things around, and that doesn't always work well for me. So, hoping too that maybe a little bit of my sloppy coloring will get trimmed off here. So it'll look a little better. There we go. Let's see, did we get it? Not bad. Not quite here. I didn't quite get the base of it, so. All right. Okay. All right, let's see how our globe looks here. Oh, that looks good. I think I'm gonna like that. Okay, so this was right on the edge, right? So if we put our snow globe on the table and set this right down into it, I think that'll look good. We might do it just slightly under the edge to cover, or should we do this slightly on top? Because I didn't quite get it exactly. So if I get it, I think the globe slightly on top. All right, so now the question is do we want it in the middle or off to one side for the quote here, or maybe to the outside with the quote on the inside, because this is the inside of the page, isn't it? Yes, here are the holes. So this is where the binder goes. So this is the center is here. Do we want it, do we like it to this side? I'm not sure I like this angle here to that side. Maybe I just want it in the middle, I don't know. You know, put it right in the middle. And either we can just do the quote straight across here, or we can kind of do it around. What do you think? That way, maybe just slightly off center. I think maybe just slightly off center. I kind of like it there. All right. Excuse me. Still fighting that cough. But, okay, do I have, I was going to say, do I have some scrap paper I can use to glue here? I probably should have gotten a magazine out. but I didn't, so we'll just use this piece we cut off. That way it gets used for something. Okay. Oops. All right. Not quite all the way over, but a little off center, I think. There we go. Where's my towel? So I managed to get marker all over my fingers, which I always do. Oh, I was going to show you the markers I use. I ended up not using, and I said earlier, I ended up not using the Crayola markers because I didn't like the browns that were available. And I suppose I could have done one set and the browns and another set in the, for the other part. So I ended up using these Staedtler markers, and they've got a brush tip on one end, and they've got a really fine little outline tip on the other. So they're made like the other ones, they're just a different brand. These are Staedtler. So those are the ones I ended up using. Okay. Let's see, now that one's got glue all over it. There's something else I can use to glue here. Hopefully. Cobble something together. And then I'm just going to want that just slightly overlapping, just because I didn't quite cut it straight. So, oh, come on. Getting messy with the glue. I should have just gotten a magazine. Oh well, we're almost done with the glue now, so. Just want it just over, just to cover where I didn't quite cut it straight. Right there. Okay. Mess up my thing. All right. So that's probably the longest part done, right? Coloring. I enjoy coloring, but it does take a while. Okay, so I've kind of got it off to the side. So maybe we can do the quote across the corner here, since we've kind of, you know, moved it off center a little bit. I did not get that on right, did I? Oh well, it's glued down. Too late now. I wonder if we should outline that. Do you think it needs? I think it needs an outline just to help it pop off. Maybe. Is that black? I think that one's really, really dark navy blue. Sometimes. Ah, there's the black. So, and then the question is, see, there's the brush tip. And then there's a really fine little tip there. So I'm thinking it might need a little bit of outlining just to help it pop off down here. And I know it wouldn't necessarily, you know, have that, but I just, you know, just to delineate it a little bit. Let's do a little bit of an outline here. Didn't quite get that edge glued, but to wait for the ink to dry for sure. This is water-based ink, and it will run if you get it wet. Which is good. It's one of those things that, you know, if you put a water brush on it, you can definitely give it a softer watercolory look. I just did a really crummy job of doing that, so now I have to thicken up that line a little bit. I hope you guys are having an excellent Monday. Counting it down to Christmas, right? Christmas is next Sunday. So the end of this week that we're starting now. Whatever you celebrate, if you celebrate Christmas, I would wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa. If you choose not to celebrate at all, or you celebrate a different festival at this time of year, I would still wish you happiness and peace and love. All of the gifts that should be Christmas time, that we should hold in our hearts all year long. And I would just tell you that I am grateful that you spend your time with me. It has given me some purpose this year, knowing that people watch, those of you who have commented, talked to me over the course of the year. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. It's been a hard year in many ways for a lot of people. So I hope wherever you are, at the end of the year brings you peace and joy. Let's see, we'll just do a little bit here too. Yeah, I think that helped. I feel like I might want to, I probably should have done some outlining down here before I put it on here. Just to delineate some of the parts. There are definitely parts to this base. Like there's a band there, and there's kind of a band up here. I know it's hard to see because I colored it in shades of brown. But there is one right along here that maybe helps delineate it a little bit. And the rest of it's kind of just pattern, so I'm not too worried about that. Maybe a little on the bottom. I think it needs a little more down here, maybe. I know, you start fussing with it. This is what I do. I start fussing with it. And then it's suddenly like, oh, well, I should do something else to it, shouldn't I? And I just begin to fussing, and sometimes I don't know when to stop. I think that's a little better, though. I do think that the outline helps a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Have I gotten it up here? Because I'm doing this on the wallpaper, it looks like it's kind of sinking into some of the little crevices here. Maybe just a little swatch just to make it a little darker. All right. You guys, I probably leaned way over and you got to see the back of my head, which is not good. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't cover it up too much. Sometimes I realize I'm leaning over and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So, Okie dokie. Let's decide. So it's better to light a candle than curse the dark, or be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. There are two ways of spreading light. Be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. It's better to light a candle than curse the dark. I don't know. Do you think we can I get on there are two ways of spreading light? Be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. I mean, you could probably do it around the edge. That might be kind of cool. Just kind of do it up and around. I haven't done that. I don't think we've done that. We might could get, there are two ways of spreading light. Be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. What if we did that? I have not done that. So, okay. I'm hoping not to lean on this. I am going to put a towel right here on the edge of it just to, so I don't smear it, I hope. Hopefully, although the towel would smear it too, but maybe not as much. So I'm going to use the small end first and then go back with the brush to see if I can make it a little prettier. All right, so let's try it. This is going to be way too big, isn't it? There. Our two ways of, now do we start spreading and take it around the corner? Or do we just start spreading here? Maybe we should turn it. I don't know. We could kind of curve the corner, couldn't we? Spreading. Not even doing fancy letters. There are two ways of spreading light. Colon. Be the candle back here. Let's see, or the mirror that reflects it, or the mirror that reflects it. Maybe we'll be okay. I'll start it in a little bit. Or the mirror. And we'll do that on the corner here. That T was kind of big, wasn't it? Reflex it. All right, not too shabby. Sometimes I actually manage to make things fit. But, I mean, it's not perfect. But, you know, there are people who are much better at lettering and do it much better than I do. But, you know. All right, I'm going to go back with the brush and make it a little bit easier to read. But I'm not doing even fancy lettering here. I am just doing plain lettering. Because, you know, if I get fancy, then that'll throw it off always. Always 6 ways to Sunday, right? I just want to be able to read it. This is kind of a long quote. And if you get fancy with the longer quotes, sometimes it makes them harder to read. So, but I really like this quote. I think it's very true. Sometimes we just have to be able to identify the light, beautiful things and work to spread them, whether they're our own idea or not. I think the idea is that we spread the light. All right, be the candle. I got a little looser down here, didn't I? Or the mirror. That reflects it. All right. And I like this too because there's some shiny back here, so it's kind of shiny there. And I already have some gold shiny on there. I don't know, do we need some bling? Do I even have to ask that? Of course we need some bling. Let me grab some and I'll be right back. Okay, I have found some bling. I've got some little kind of tiny red. These are the reddest ones I have, which everything else I have is kind of pink, but there's some little bitty ones that I was thinking about popping on a few of the berries here. Although they're very small. Oh. Maybe just, oh, hello. I'm crafting with cats. One of my kitties has decided to come down and dig in my trash box there. Say maybe just like a couple of sets of 3. Maybe 3 sets of 3. I don't know if these are going to stick or not. I may have to go back with my glue gun. Because they're so small and they're supposed to be sticky, but that one's not sticking at all. Uh-oh. I have a feeling they may not. Well, that's 2 of them that don't want to stay, and I've lost one. Oh, they're so small. Where is it? Oh, well. I'll find it. Let's try just a tiny droplet of glue here. There we go. That's better. That's better. I don't know if those ones down there are going to stick or not, so I'll have to give them a little tiny dot of glue as well. I should just probably get my tweezers, but you know, I think I need my tweezers, and then I think, oh, is it easier just to do what you're doing, or do you want to actually get up and go get the tweezers? So, you know, if I think about it in advance, I can have the tweezers, but if I don't think about it in advance, then it may not happen. Because I get here and then I just don't want to get up. Threads. That is my only problem with glue guns, is they have little threads. Little threads that you have to get rid of. And I know people are like, well, if you twist it, you don't get those little threads. But even if I twist it, I get the little threads. So I just do it without twisting and don't worry about it. And then I just get them off later. So you can twist it, but you still have the threads. It may help you cut the thread off. Like it might help you break the thread before it gets too long. But if the thread's still there, it doesn't really matter if it's long or short. You're going to have to get it off anyway. So, okay. So are those going to stay? Let's see. All right. Looks like those are probably okay. I like that. Just a few tiny little red ones there. That seems like a good choice. What's in my go back box? What else? I've got some gold trim that I could put, you know, a little single line of gold around the bottom between down there maybe. Let's see. It'd be about to there. I'm so sorry I sound hoarse, guys. I do not feel bad. I feel fine. I have discovered though that one of the medications I take to improve my lung function so that I don't cough so much and I breathe much better makes me hoarse. That is actually a side effect of the medication. So you sound, you know, like you're sick, but you're not. So I know I kind of sound terrible, but I actually feel fine. And I know several of you have been kind enough to message me and leave comments on videos, but then also a couple of people have sent me messages on Instagram, you know, to voice their concern for me, and I appreciate that. And I didn't get enough glue on there, and I really appreciate it. But actually, I really am fine. So I just sound like I'm gonna, you know, I sound croaky. I sound is all, but I feel fine. So. You know, it just wouldn't be my layout if we didn't snazz up the picture. And I still don't see a lot of people on YouTube doing that, but you know, I don't really care. Let's see. We could do this around the base maybe. I have this one. I have this one, which might be prettier this way. Oh, I like this one around the base. I think that's pretty. All right, so let's do some measurement here. Around the edge to there maybe. And a little dot here to get it started, and then we'll kind of move it along. I'm thinking just a few dots, or well, I guess we could just do like a little bit of a line here at a time, maybe. This is cute. I just loved gold cording and lace and bling and all kinds of frippery. It's just me. All right, so I want to do a little dollop here to finish that so it'll stay down. That's cute. Okay. What else? What else? So I've got just some bright kind of reflective ones. Move those over here. I have this because I thought I might want to put this around the edge, but I really like that one. I have some yellow. Then we could, dot out around the candle. I have some orange as well. I thought about putting an orange maybe in the middle of the flame. Let's see how that would look. What about one orange, like an orange in the middle of a flame, and then some yellow kind of out around it, like that. There we go. Just a little bit of orange there. And then I've got some of this yellow that I was thinking maybe, just kind of a couple wending their way out maybe. Oops. There's a little piece of the plastic. There we go. If you just tuck it under, then it will stick just fine. And there, like that. And then maybe one there. Do we need another one out here? Or do we need a third one over here? I don't know, maybe I kind of like it just like that. I mean, that does leave 2 here, which is, but then it kind of looks like 5, and then the 1. I'm looking at it going, do I need an odd number? I actually have an even number there, but does it look even? Okay, we'll do that. And then I don't think I want anything out around, but I brought these. And I thought, we could kind of just put some out as reflection. Well, maybe just kind of glowing out around, right? Oh yeah, I think I kind of like that. I didn't think I was going to, but kind of just reflecting. 3. Put it up here between the reflects it. No, actually I don't like that one. I think it was okay before that one went in. Yeah, even though it's still an even number in total, it's kind of 3 on the sides, so asymmetrical there, right? All right, so I think we can call this one done. I hope you had a good time today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next Monday, the day after Christmas, and we'll make another something. So I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And again, I wish you peace, joy, love, happiness, all of the gifts that, are ours to find, I hope, in the coming year. Merry Christmas, guys. Bye.